everybody again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and with me I have...
Hey there, how's it going? This is Kage.
You have Kage, and then you have Hog. Hog, what's up?
Yo, 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 yo.
Hog's in occupied territory right now. He's in the People's Republic of Blue Territory.
Tarjay.
Yep, he's in Tarjay. So... we got a decent show planned for you tonight. One of the first things we're going to talk about tonight is, before we start into the couple stocks we're going to talk about, because this affects your wallet before you buy a stock, is inflation. The NFIB Optimism Index is confirming today, and you'll be seeing this dropping tomorrow with inflation all across the board. Hopefully you don't turn on the news tomorrow and see that a lot of things are down in the market. Well, unless they delay it till Friday, because all the good news they save for Friday. The Small Business Association confirms we're suffering a crisis of inflation. 11-month lull is the culprit. We haven't seen levels like this, guys, since 1974. So this is very troubling. Going to Steve Cortez's article, you can see that. We'll have it posted to the videos there. Right now, we're seeing a raging and economic conflagration grows across the country, and we can say is created by Say It Ain't So Joe. Sadly, the NFIB Optimism Index confirms that small businesses in America suffered crises of confidence. The National Federation of Independent Businesses, the broadest, most respected groups in the country, are advocating for entrepreneurs and small business operators. The index has declined to an 11-month low. And to see where the chart is at right here, you could see the Trump handoff to the Biden handoff, and we'll put it on our screen. There's the graph, so you can check it out and look at that. The chart is sourced from tradingeconomics.com. It depicts the very unfortunate small business peak and rollover of once Biden's policies took hold. Hog, you were just in the store. I'm pretty sure you saw bacon and eggs. They were at a discounted price this year, huh?
Yeah, right. Compared to what they were a year before. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, Kagi, so what do you got on your end from your part of the article there?
It looks like very much like what the most charts for the stock market are looking like. With the Trump handoff and everything just decreasing just steadily on a predictable line.
And you saw from some of the jokes I used to tell. I used to call it the Biden bounce, and everybody was talking about there ain't no bounce right now. Yeah, that was the joke. They just never got it.
It's more like a guy sliding off the face of a cliff trying to get a handhold, but he can't.
Yeah, the alphabets will be out tomorrow with the pom-poms out trying to, try to change this up a little bit and try to masquerade it to their liking, where they want it at. It says it looks like within the details of the dreadful small business survey, the main driver of the despondency is a clear rising prices. Small businesses face a tough struggle here as general consumers themselves, physical commodity goods, and not producers. For instance, most food and energy commodities at wholesale level are produced by giant conglomerates, by multinational corporations. They can benefit from runaway inflation, but small businesses, by large, find it very difficult to pass increased input costs for goods for consumers. In fact, the NFIB survey revealed a hugely troubling data point in inflation. It said the rise in prices surged to the highest levels since 1974, like we covered there. Did you got your disco clothes out and everything, and you're like, boogie? You got that out there, Kage?
I don't own those clothes, but I heard that they were fun from way back when. But yeah.
So we have a chart on here from Steve Cortez. It's the 5-year consumer price index chart. You can see that on your screen here. It looks, you can see it's pretty bad there. So inflation at 40-year highs resulted in 3 massive policy blunders from Biden. Okay, so this is just fact. You can get your fake checkers out there and try to spin this there if anybody of you guys carry the cooler for this guy. But first, he declared war on American domestic energy. That was bad. Second of all, he and Chuck and Nancy embarked on a historic binge of borrowing and spending, and there's rumors out there through the hill there, Kage, that we're going to get that they not us personally, but they're talking. There's rumors talking about more cash injection into the system, whether it be they're trying to see if they can do that, and they're trying to rah the rhinos there. But of course, and the rhinos, they got to see what's in it for them, right?
Yeah, it's like just trying to paper over a hole in the house when there's obviously a hole there.
Yeah.
You can't hide it.
Yeah, they also have you had your mandates that destroyed things. You had your supply chain issues, especially in key industries where a lot of vaccine hesitant workers like trucking and logistics. Because corporate media always everywhere runs interference for Biden. They've tried valiantly to paper over the bad news, but incessantly the Trumper rare good economic data. For example, last week's job report surprise had an upside of new hires. I wonder if that was people going back to work there, Kage. You think?
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah, and so the headline number was good news to be sure, but the devil is often in the details. And the granular case for the labor market remains for trouble for two reasons. First, there's always been a welcome of rehiring workers for falling behind on every single month because of the Biden inflation, real wages, a measure of pay relative to broad price increase, and economy has now declined 11 straight months under him. So if worker pay increase cannot keep pace with surging prices for rent, gas, and groceries, then the citizens become poorer each month, which is what's happening. The slog is present harshly relatively of the Biden economy, which you could see why some people are getting frustrated with stocks, as you can see on some of the chat boards where they're just saying another pissy loss and things like that. So it looks like in the just recently survey from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the total revisions in the last 2 months of November, December were a whopping 700,000 jobs. The December figure for the new jobs more than doubled with the correction. Earlier in 2021, the BLS reported the mammoth late changes in the other directions, revising the 2 consecutive months of downward of negative 800,000 jobs for June and July. And he goes on, Cortez goes on to say, in the 25-year of Wall Street career trading the numbers in financial markets, he's never witnessed such volatility in the revisions. He says, so what's going on? The BLS, like the other federal agency, is not really working. It's asleep at the wheel. Anyone who's been to Washington lately can see the ghost town-like streets during work days. No one can recognize most things, what's going on in American busy life, because you get paid more to stay at home and you get all your goodie bags and things like that. But regardless of the accuracy of the reports, the government has plenty of data from the private sector entities affirming the harsh reality of Biden's economic quagmire. So where does this take us, Kage? Where does the bubble burst, you think?
I think the bubble is like gonna burst almost any day, and
any day, yeah.
Burst, it's gonna just not only explode, but it's also gonna tear off some of your face too.
So, and the reason why we're bringing Cortez's article and things like that, because we're straight shooters, we call it as we see it. We don't carry the cooler for anybody politically, but what we are saying is that just be prepared, choose your stocks wisely, and things like that, and just make sure your house is in order. That's all we're saying. So we're going to go to the first stock, and we're going to get to it in two. See you in a few. Hey guys, the first stock we have is Wish, W-I-S-H. Last tick on this one was $2.55. Going through the chart, it's a steady decline on the chart there. Significant decline. Some of this could be supply chain issues. Some of this could be just inflation. And as far as customers are, as far as what I'm seeing for consumer sentiment of this, is that customers are abandoning this. And I'm sure some of the users, some of the traders there are completely abandoned it due to that customer base abandoning them. Why they're abandoning them, we can dive into that, and we can go into the bulls and the bears. Going for this company, if you haven't heard of them, you should, because it's not like they've been under a rock. So Context Logic Incorporated engages in the operation of online marketplace that includes Geek, Mama, Home, Cute, and Joyful Shopping. The company was founded by Peter Schwatsky and Danny Zhang in June 2010, and is headquartered in the People's Republic of San Francisco, California. What do you got on StockTwits, Kage? Because that's where the real traders are at. What do you got on your end?
I'm looking at the chart, and it looks like it's on like a steady downcline from June to about now.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's upticked to like $2.53 for this month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as like getting in on this, there's like momentum for this being the number 13 ticker
Mm-hmm.
with a transaction volume 3.7 times the average daily volume. Hmm.
Yeah. What's the sentiment on the boards as far as like some of the traders trading? What are they saying as far as bulls, bears, things like that? Like positive. What's the sentiment of the takes that are out there as far as people what they're saying the active traders that are involved in this stock?
I'm seeing a lot of bulls for this one. Here's a comment from McLaurin Bro. He says, "Wish bullish. Experienced trade behind every bear is a hurt bull. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay, little guy." And he has a link to where Amazon was $5 years ago. Hold, if you understand this.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't mean to be a negative Nancy or nothing like that, but I'm not going to go there with this on Amazon or anything like that. Considering Amazon doesn't have a lot of customers. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Amazon, but let's be real about the company. They don't have a huge abandonment from them. If let's say that. So there are people abandoned, but you never know. Could be wrong. What else you got there?
How about this one from Kelly K206? He says, "Wish bullish. If I convince even one person to not panic sell, learn how to be patient and resilient, hold and keep loading up on the way down, then I did my job. Before you doubt, I post screenshots of all my trades. They are there, just have to look."
Mm-hmm.
And got a link of what he has for the day's game.
So the stats on this one, you have 90 million active users. You have several online items for sale. You have 1.7 products per day added to their. The biggest complaint that you see on there is that a lot of them are cheap. I'm sure it's sourced from the People's Republic of the CCP. So that's where some of the complaints come from. But I see a lot of people are like, that's just garbage stuff. And that's just the reviews I'm reading online. I'm going to be a realist on everything. I'm going to call it as I see it. And, that's where some of your reviews get. They have 500K merchants registered on there as well. What did you see on what else do you see on the twits?
I'm seeing some talking about what was it called? The after hours and how it was
Mm-hmm.
trading in the after hours. And
Mm-hmm.
also there was some talk about Vanguard Group.
What's the talk on Vanguard Group? That's interesting.
This is a comment from Ship the Pasta. He says, "Bullish. Wish. February 9th, 2022. Vanguard Group reported a 13G with 37.7 mil passive investment today. Ownership at 6.54%. Meh."
Yeah, well, I have a statistic that comes from Capital.com. It looks like shares of this plunged 92.4%. That was over the 12-month period from last year to January 2022. And the NASDAQ composite, where the stock is listed, it's edged up 1% during that same period. The company's market capitalism, it's just there's people abandoning this as far as it goes, and some of the deal. What I see why they're abandoning it is the products. So when you have and some of the products that come from there, you've seen the ratings as far as that some are copied. Some could be copied. I don't know. It's just assumptions, but that's what some people are writing. A lot of people write out on these things. You see it on the Bay too, where people say that they're copies of another one and they're not that product. What else do you got there?
How about this comment from Z-Man T Town? He says, "Wish bullish. The interesting thing about that giant buy this morning is that it didn't go through the dark pool. It doesn't happen often on that size of a buy.
You have on July 12th, 2021. It looks like they appointed Farhang Kase, and I butchered his name. I apologize there. People can put it in the comments section there. He was the senior director at Google to the newly created role of chief technology officer in August. The firm appointed Tarun Jain to the newly created position of chief product officer. Jain was a former product leading from Google, so maybe some of these former Google execs there could turn this around. So that there is that positive sentiment there that they could possibly turn this around. As far as if when Hogg gets back, maybe he can add some insight to that if he can make it there. What else do you got there, Kage?
How about this one from Opinions and Perspectives? He says, Wish, bullish. What some people need to understand is that Wish is an online shopping mall, and they're kicking out their crap tenants and bringing in better ones. Wish is not the products that sell on their site. They can change what sells on their site.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing now.
Yeah.
With their quality control initiatives and merchant invite only.
Yeah, and that's one thing to bring it. So you could get this right now at bargain basement prices, depending on where your buy point. If you want to buy on the dip or down, or if you're dumb, you'll just buy it when people are talking about it and it's high. But whatever. But if some of these Google executives, obviously they got paid pretty decent to come here. They're not going to want. They're coming from a winning team, and so they're brought in to turn this around. If they can possibly turn this around, he is correct. You could see this going forward to move the stock price higher, and if they can change some of the products and what they allow, maybe like Walmart.com does, where they have you have to have the SKU numbers. If you don't have a SKU number, you're basically almost SOL, and just it is what it is, you know. So. Looks like we also have Context Logic reported financial results for the third quarter ended September 2021, November 2021. The company's net loss narrowed $64 million for that quarter from $99 million a year earlier. The first 9 months from a year was a net loss widened to $303 million to $176 million. Okay, so going to the twits there, what are some of your bear sentiment as far as what the Bears got on this thing?
Well, there's not many who have their receipts with them. I think a lot of them are just being sour pusses.
Yeah, read it. Read it. If it's entertaining, read it. If they just say company bad, I don't want to hear about it. But I like to. We want to hear everything here, because even if they're sour pusses, we want to hear what they're saying. You got to have everything, because you don't want to be like the alphabet media where they don't want to play the other side. They want to cut them off, and they just want to have cheerleader pom-pom talk. We want to hear both sides, because that's what we do. We're fair here as far as we want to hear both sides.
How about this for a name from this bear take? Brick heavy bags heavier. He says, Wish, bearish. I see the bull trap is continuing after hours. Very nice. And he's got a clip of Borat, I think, giving a thumbs up.
Yeah. What else you got?
How about this one from, let's see, Experienced Trade. He says, Wish, it's going down again tomorrow. Sell the pump.
Yeah, maybe Friday. Possibility. We'll see what happens. What if they break any decent news tomorrow? Then obviously I would plan more on a dump off on Friday, because it's Ski Low Friday. But that's just my predictions. But I mean, you'll see some of a dip, but the most dip would probably happen on a Friday. You have the context logic revenue plunged 39% quarter three to $368 million to $606 for the same period previous year. Taking a close look at the company's business, it seems that the sales have largely dragged in the marketplace segment, which declined 52% from quarter three. So obviously, Kage, they have a product problem. So they need to address that. You've seen it, the sentiment from the traders. You also have the consumer sentiment, but some of that, when you get on there, if you see something come up in a product, Kage, and it comes up for $1 and it's too realistic or too good to be true, do you go out there and buy that?
It usually is a little bit too good to be true.
Yeah.
If you see something that low.
Yeah, and if you go to
one of those things where your alarm bells are going off in your head, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
So again, with the analogy, the guys that are brought in from Google from this, they're not Mr. Ham sandwiches or anything like that. They're heavy hitters. They're brought in here to clean house and to change things. So some of the bears that are making fun of this, they could be singing a different tune coming down the pike. We'll have to see that. I would say maybe quarter three-ish, when we get quarter three-ish results. I would say then there might be some changes here. So you could be getting this at a discount, or the Google guys could totally not turn it around yet. And yeah, but it looks like the company's logistics segment was the only part of the business report on a rise in revenue, amounting in 101% for the 9-month period, with the marketplace segment occurred a loss of 18%. So given this to Kage, the other thing that we did not add to this is the supply chain issue. The supply chain is broken down. The ports on the West Coast compare nothing to everything in China as far as their ports. And
yeah,
they're,
not to mention the trucks that are on the road and everything not moving.
So to be fair to Wish, and like I said, I don't own the stock. I'm not carrying the cooler for them. To be fair to Wish, the supply chain issues have had a major factor to that. If you can't get that, if the people cannot get their product to put it listed on Wish, then that's going to be a problem and affect sales for the company. So to be fair to them, and to some of the bears, that's where it is as far as that. Some of that decline is those supply chain issues. It's huge. You cannot be dependent. You have to have some type of manufacturing way to get your supplies. You can't be dependent on one certain area. You have to have that flow of chain from everywhere. So it can't just be from one area where you're depending on that one side when that one side breaks down. And it doesn't help when the ports are pretty much not running to full capacity. That also helps there. Thanks, Governor Dracula, and you know who you are. So what else you got on this?
How about this one from Mr. Shanahadi? He says, Wish. Folks, bullish. Folks, a very, very good sign caused the head and shoulders pattern, bearish, was deformed and is rejected. Now I want to see a next strong move over the 2.57, then 2.64, and 2.94. The RSI is now in bullish territory over 50, and the MACD also turned to upside sentiment. The markets are heating up, but we will see a healthy pullback these days.
He is right on that, because the Capital.com article was last week, and so it did get above that. Now whether you're coming out of that season, it's just the ports have to get back to normal, and then the Google guys that came in with this have to get to turn this around to figure out what's happening, and with those combined, you could see some changes going around there, and then some people could be singing a different tune. So as far as the RSI that I saw on this, it's completely neutral. So you have neutral on that. For my end, you could, as far as my opinion of this stock, you could get this at bargain basement prices if this is where you want to look. It just depends on what your buy point is, and if this even interested you. For me personally, Kage, I don't particularly. It's not my game to play these types of ones. Mine's more biopharmaceutical avenue and things like that. But if you're looking for a discounted price, take a look at it and find your buy point in this, because if these guys decide to turn it around and going into high gear, because we got an election year and the Dems got to get their stuff going and everything like that to make it look like they got the economy going. So you see them taking off masks and things like that, lifting their mandates. You could see this thing turn around, and you could get in at a good point. Just where's your buy point? You could see a rise on this again coming in quarter three maybe. What do you got?
Well, for me, I would give this a good look. This is like at a really good price point if you want to get on the cheap.
Okay.
This one, but that being said, it is a risk that's very, very volatile.
Yeah.
This stock.
Yeah, I mean, what could really hurt this thing, and you could really lose your shorts, is that all the truckers decide around here in the United States to go on strike, and everywhere, and all of a sudden that virus, the Xi'an variant, breaks down in China worse than it already is, and the Chinese ports shut down more than what they already were. Taiwan invasion could happen. We don't know. You could, if that happened, if all shit will hit the fan, and then who knows what will happen. So I'm just saying you got all those factors in there. I'm throwing them out there for you guys, but that's all I got on this one. What about you?
Yeah, I'm out on this one.
Okay.
I'd say good luck to people who want to get in on this one if they really believe in it.
Yeah.
I say good luck to them, but don't hold your breath.
Yeah, not a bad choice or nothing. So just take a look at it. If it interests you, go grab it. If it's not, then is what it is. I'm not going to talk negative about it because we've set the path for the negative, and then we set the path for the positive. So you have both angles. You just got to choose which direction you're going. I can't choose that for you. Neither can Kage or Hog. So I'm out. Okay, guys, the next stock we have is MITQ. MITQ, last tick was $1.63. Going to the chart year to date, well, there it is for you right there. Going into what would you say they do here? They provide a custom engineering systems design, the integration of installation, digital technology solutions, products for cinemas. So it offers projection, 3D cinema pedestals, cinema sound, automation, energy efficient support for 3D and booth level less products. The firm provides NOC and consultation solutions. The company was founded by Joe Delgado and is headquartered in the People's Republic of Fountain Valley, California. I've been there. How about you there, Kage?
I have not been down there, so I wouldn't know what it's like.
So going on to StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at, Kage, what do you have as consumer sentiment from the twits on this one there?
I'm seeing bulls for this stock. Like, compared to the graph and everything that I saw, it's a penny stock, and it's on the uptick right now.
Okay.
And it's got a nice little rise for February this month. As far as, like, what people are actually saying, of course, this is a comment from Team Bullish Trading, and they always usually give their receipts at the end of their comments. He says, MITQ alert entry $1.57 closed $1.69, realized gain $210. Was looking for the 1.75 breakout early morning after the bell, when parabolic and got kicked back off of the $1.74, a penny shy of part of PT. Closed on an indication of exhaustion. Attempted to play this later in the session, was a dud.
Interesting. I've got an article here from Business Wire. It says Moving Image Technologies announces 113% revenue growth in the second quarter fiscal 2022. Reports year-over-year growth of 113% to 3.4 million. Backlog increased 44% subsequently to 11.1 million at the end of the quarter. Increased fiscal 2022 revenue to 14 to 16 million, and 93% to 120% year-to-year growth. So they brought the receipts there. They posted this to Twitter there. And their Twitter tweet says, "We delivered robust numbers with historically our season's slowest quarter," which that's huge in itself. So they've already busted out those high numbers with their season quarter being that's their slowest, and they're putting out good numbers there. They'll continue to benefit from the combination of strong proprietary product portfolio, leading industry. Cinema operators are beginning to invest in the CARES Act grants into technology and theater upgrades to remain competitive. Because as they can see the tea leaves, masks are coming off, things are coming off. People are starting to get to open up in some of these blue areas because they know they need to, because they got to make the Dollaruskis again. And so you're starting to see things turn around and change, and you're going to see that increase for that. So some of the things like we talked about with Wish before, we're going to continue to this. So I see strong results here. What else do you got there, Kage, on the twits?
How about this comment from Team TOC? He says, MITQ, just listened to the conference call reply. Clearly things in line for future growth. However, I was disappointed that there were 0 questions asked on the call, including 0 questions that could have been submitted to internal resources ahead of time per the ER announcement. There are no eyes on this, traders only. Otherwise, it's just people holding long and waiting.
Okay, Kage, I got an interesting article here. So fiscal 2022 commentary from Business Wire. They have billions of dollars in government grants are still in the early days of being spent, and expect money to provide higher jumping off point versus last cycle upgrade cycle for both technology facilities and second half of fiscal year of 2023. As a result, they're both increasing revenues and guidance narrowing range, and expect 14 to 16 million of 93 to 121% growth for the year concluded there, said Rafsman. I would have to agree with that, Kage, just because, like I said, you're going to see more people taking out those grants. You're also going to see some of those grants and loans, just because people are now going to want to invest, because the leaders of these blue areas, they see that they need to get going. They see the tea leaves and the pissed off people. People are depressed. They need to get out and go to these theater things. So what better than to get your theater and things going, because you know that you got to get this thing going. You just have the specter of come around November flu season next year again, that things are going to jump up again. You know what I mean?
I wish someone would actually take her down a
You
notch.
know, which one, right? There's so many of them. Him, her, they. I don't. There's so many of them that control. And some of them are good, and some of them have just had bad policy, because we know that they take stuff from the top down. So most of them are all puppets, and they take it from the puppet masters, whoever the puppet masters are, whoever wants to be the puppet masters for the day. So just truth there. So they all fall, and the rhinos do the same thing too as well. They have the same thing too. So it's not like it's a one side. It's the powers that be from both sides, whoever controls the money purse, whoever decides to control the purse strings for whichever party. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what else do you got on the twits there?
How about this one from Nikki 42069? She says, MITQ. Nice run. I'm truly happy for those of you who entered recently. If you're one of the folks who bought in over summer and are holding, don't average down just yet, or catch that morning dip carefully. If you're waiting for 3, 4, 5, or more, you've got quite a wait, but not all impossible in the next 6 months, depending on the politics of COVID.
Exactly, and that's what I've been saying, is that people are taking that risk, but back when November and December come of next year, that's when you're gonna see the ratchets, the freaking. It also depends on who takes over. Obviously, some of these strongholds of the blue areas are never changing over, so they've nailed themselves in. It's basically occupied territory. But like this guy says, the politics of everything. What else do you got there? I'm just looking through the boards here, because every story basically is parroting Business Wire right now, because that's the way it's going. So because that's the way they work.
How about this take from Tickeron? He always has his graphs with him, or charts, I should say.
Yeah, charts.
He says, if you are trading this week, read this. MITQ enters a downtrend because momentum indicator dropped below the zero level on February 8th, 2022. View odds for this and other indicators. And he's got his little chart there, and he has the ticker more geared toward the downturn rather than the upturn for this chart.
I have an interesting take. This is from Chris Rock 23, and Chris Rock 23 always likes to bring the I've seen his takes before. He actually does bring decent takes. I'm surprised this one passed you, but I know you got a lot of material to cover. Chris Rock 23 says, I told y'all this is a bull trap. Okay, he says, Money Pit, if you bought this midday hoping it was going for a pop, the run is over. Greedy shorts are lurking. Get out now before you lose more. Lesson is never chase a growth stock when never chase a growth stock when they're 30 to 90% in less than 30 minutes. GLTA is what he wrote. What else do you got there?
How about this one from Farts Dust?
Farts Dust.
Held pretty solid today in spite of the constant short assaults. Holding night to see what tomorrow brings. Hopefully, Flaming Bear Death. He has MITQ as bullish.
Yeah, we'll just have to see where this takes us. Okay, Kangi. So on this one, I would say this is a decent watch. You know, it all depends going forward. There could be some money making. It's going to be interesting on the second and the third quarter results there for sure. I'd say ride this until you know October, November when the flu season comes. You know, so that's where I would take this. I would say this one would be into the season and you know see where your buy point is if you're getting in or not. Or if this is not your type of stock, then just move on to the next one. So what do you got?
I'd have to say with this one, this is a interesting stock to look at. I probably wouldn't get in if this wasn't my stock. If it wasn't a stock that I particularly liked.
Are you more a biopharma too, or are you into? Because I'm biopharma, health and nutrition myself. That's what I like crypto. As far as that goes, I like crypto and crypto stocks. But that's my angle, and I like as far as what is it? Commodities, things like that. That's my angle. I like useful things. But yeah, for me, that's where I'm at. But where are you at?
I'm more of a commodities kind of guy as far as, you know, looking at what technology it has to offer as well. But yeah, crypto's nice, and there's plenty of crypto going around. It just depends on which vendor, which currency you want to get into, I guess.
Yeah, and also the exchanges are good too as well. The companies that deal with exchanges. So on this one, are you just watch on this? You're gonna watch and see how this one plays out.
I would give it a good watch and see how it turns out for the rest of the month. And if you want to hold to like August or something before selling, that's your call.
Does this stock worry you a little bit as far as coming into like say next year after third quarter? Just because
it definitely is dependent on what comes out of the COVID news or COVID world.
Yeah, as far as going forward now, you're in the safe zone. But I'm just saying, going later down the line. But if you're shorting, then or you're swinging, then you know, swinging short away if that's where you're going.
You're going to be shorting this.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, swinging and shorting, and you're looking it up on Google, please don't do it. Please do your homework and take a class or something like that. So anyway, I'm out of here. Are you out?
I'm out too.
Okay.
So I ran out of smoke bombs, so I'm just gonna try to go make some more.
Okay,
so,
we're gonna see you back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. So check us out. If you're on TikTok, look up for the Facebook group and join the Facebook group so you can get in and connect with some real traders out there they'll have some tips out there for you on the boards if you want to talk to them. If you don't and you don't want to learn anything, then don't go to the trade group. So don't make it a dog show. Good night now.